Alright, it's time for more supports. I got a Raphael support. Yes, good times, good times. With Raphael, it's always a good time.
Professor. I was just going to come find you.
This one looks familiar.
Are you busy? I have a question about formations. I don't understand them at all. Are the speed of battle and the terrain connected somehow? There's too much to memorize.
You don't have to remember everything.
I don't? Then what do I have to know?
Almost everything.
I think I understand the basics. To start, you just... Ah, okay. I think I've got it. Thanks for the help, Professor. Brains and brawn. You've really got it all. With your help, I should have no trouble becoming a proper knight.
Why do you want to be a knight anyway?
Huh? Didn't I tell you? My parents were merchants of the Alliance. They died in an accident. That's why it's up to me to look after my little sis. I'm not great with bookkeeping, so I don't think I'd make a good merchant. I talked to Grandpa, and he suggested I become a knight. So I sold all our valuables and used the money to pay my way into the academy.
That's a scary, scary move. I appreciate Raphael for doing this, though.
My sis won't survive if I get kicked out. So I can't give up now.
Had you no other options, or did you consider being a mercenary? I think these come down to the same thing.
I might have tried being a mercenary if I didn't have my little sis to look after. I probably shouldn't say this, but being a mercenary does sound like an easier life. Mercenaries have no responsibilities, and no one else to worry about.
You got a sister anyway.
But someone's got to take care of my little sis, so that's out of the question. Serving as a knight in a noble house is more secure, and you don't have to worry about dying unless there's a war. My sis has been through so much. I don't want her to have to worry about me. Hey, do you have any siblings, Professor?
Not that I know of.
Then you probably think I'm missing out on my freedom, having to support her, huh? But working hard for my sister isn't too bad. Call it a burden, call it a challenge. If it makes my sister happy, I'm happy too. You should ask your father to have some more kids. Anyway, that's why I've got to become a proper knight.
Good story. Okay, I got a couple of others to show off as well. Okay, innovation maxed out. I gave him a lost item. I probably shouldn't have. Oh well. Ignatz, Leone, B. Ooh.
Who's there? Oh, hey Ignatz.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Always interrupting.
Relax. You're not interrupting.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were training out here.
I sometimes come here to practice by myself. It's more like a real battlefield, you know? Shooting the targets in the yard lets you train your aim and all, but the tension just isn't the same.
You're right. A real battlefield feels quite different. But if that's the atmosphere you want, I feel even more like I'm intruding.
You can be an opponent.
Oh, knock it off. You're already here. May as well stick around while I catch my breath.
Ah, okay, sorry. Thank you. Sorry to bother you.
You know you've said you're sorry about a dozen times since you got here.
I mean, that's his personality trait.
Oh, I'm Ah.
It's fine. I guess it's part of your charm. Hey, what's that bundle of papers? Oh, did you come here to paint? I remember now. Someone said you're a great artist. You paint a lot, right?
Yes. Yes. When I have the time, that is. I enjoy painting. It helps me relax.
Oh, well, that could be your thing.
My thing? Huh? What do you mean?
Last time we talked about it, you said you didn't have a thing you were really amazing at. But if you like painting so much, it must be a skill you're looking to master.
My paintings are nothing but a hobby. Besides, I'm not that good. I never took art lessons. When I was little, I drew a picture for a young girl. The picture made her so happy that I decided to keep at it. That's how it started.
So you're practicing your art to make other people happy? Is that it?
Oh no, that's an overstatement. I must insist again, it's just a hobby. Even if I were to become a master artist, it wouldn't be a useful skill.
Aren't you from a merchant family employed by the nobles? I think it would be really useful there.
I'm not inheriting the business. My brother is. My father said that I'm to become a knight, so my art won't do anyone any good. At all. Ever.
Ouch.
Oh, Ignatz.
Oh, it ends there? That's sad. Okay, hopefully you'll get an A at some point. Marianne, Claude B.
Marianne, please accept my apologies for my behavior yesterday.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Asking you about your family like that was pretty insensitive of me. No matter how curious I am, that's no way to treat someone. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. You weren't being insensitive. I just didn't want to talk about it.
You know what I like about Marianne, unlike, for example, Bernadette as C supports, is like, she does sort of say what she thinks, she's just kind of has a hard time saying it, but talks like a normal person most of the time, at least.
I don't spend much time talking about myself. Not to people, anyway.
Talks to animals.
If not people, then with who? Unpeople? Non-people?
Well, yes. I'm much more comfortable talking to anyone who isn't a person.
I was actually joking, but now I'm mystified. Who is it you like to talk to?
Dorte the horse.
Ah, of course. Good old Dorte. And does he understand what you tell him?
We understand each other. He tells me when he's sleepy, or when his stomach hurts, or if his nose itches.
Sounds like a complainer, that Dorte. But let's table this fascinating discussion for just a moment. Now that we've gotten in some small talk, I'd like to know what you're hiding. You are hiding something, right? Your lineage, perhaps?
Ouch, Cloud, not now.
No.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If it's all just idle gossip, that's fine too. But if it's something silly like, my ancestors were cursed, therefore I'm cursed, you should know that I won't accept that nonsense. That sort of thinking is stupid, and that's all there is to it. Say your ancestors were thieves. Does that make you a thief, even if you've never stolen a thing? Of course not.
But people have burdens to bear from the moment they're born. My burdens are so big that I'm sorry, I can't discuss this anymore.
People certainly are born with burdens. She's right about that. But Marianne, don't you know that you can choose not to carry them?
Hey, maybe she can't. You ever think about that? You ever think about that, huh? Oh well. Bond deepened. Alright. Might have some more coming up. Maybe not. Peace. I told you there'd be more.
Professor.
Yep. Cereal.
Aha! Found ya! You're always nosing around places, aren't you, Professor? Can be real hard to find you sometimes.
Calm down. Nothing the matter?
Well, yeah. I wouldn't have been running all over the place looking for you if stuff was normal.
I regret recruiting you already.
Do you remember how Lady Rhea asked you to come to the office this evening?
No.
Well, she told me that I should come to let you know that today's a bad day for doing that, and you should go and see her tomorrow instead. That's pretty much everything I needed to say, I think. Oh, except to ask you if you've seen Sedith around anywhere.
Nope.
Okay, I'm supposed to tell Sedith the thing Lady Rhea told me to tell you, but he's hard to find.
Look for Flame.
No, it's alright, thanks. But if you see him, then please find me and tell me where you saw him, okay? Because then I'll know where he is and I can tell him. I'll be in the stables if you need me. Gotta put out the fodder before it's the next kid's shift. Don't want her thinking I left my work for her to do. Oh, but if I'm not in the stables and you need to find me, I'll be at the forest up north, because there's a bunch of logs lying around up there.
Sounds like he's easy to find, right?
I figure I ought to chop him up, or else someone might trip on a log, or we might run out of firewood. And if I chop, then it'll save other people time. If it looks like I'm done there, then the quarters need to be swept. So if you see Sedith and you need to find me, then I might be there.
Can I help you with anything?
Nope, this is my job. I'm not giving it to anyone else because it's mine and I'm gonna do it. Besides, if you help me out, Lady Rhea might give me an earful. I don't know why, but Lady Rhea sure does seem to like you. She's always worried about what you might be doing or not doing.
Is that so?
Oh yeah, not that it's any of my business. Anyways, Lady Rhea asked me to do some jobs, so I'm doing them all. Even some she didn't ask for, but I know need doing, so I'm doing them. End of story.
Okay, likes doing jobs. He likes doing jobs.
And remember, if you see Sedith around, come find me and tell me where you saw him, yeah?
Sure.
Huh? But I just told you where I'd be. If I'm not in the stables, I'll be at the forest. If I'm not, oh, I see. You're right, I'm all over the place, huh? I don't want to waste your time, Professor, so if you see Sedith, how about you tell him I was looking for him, and then tell him all the places I'll be?
You'll like that.
Then he can spend his time looking for me instead of you. Yeah, That sounds like a good plan.
Dude, I just got it said that's good books. Don't ruin this for me.
A real good plan. Let's do that. See you later, Professor.
And he goes along with it. Okay. Nice one. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, here's a bunch of supports from between episode 27 and 28. Lorenz, Leone.
Hello, Leone. Busy as usual, I see.
Yep, lots to do. Not like you fancy nobles.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, can't you see all this stuff I'm carrying? Come on, move over already.
No, I can't see all the stuff
Alas,
you're carrying.
I cannot comply with your request.
Can't even ask a noble to take a step to the side, huh? That's a joke, right? You're kidding.
You've injured your foot. I could tell immediately by the way you are favoring it.
What?
Heavy lifting will only worsen the injury. Please, permit me to examine it.
Hey, cut that out. Isn't that improper or something, bowing to a commoner?
I am not bowing to you. I am tending your wound.
That's not what it'll look like. Hey, it's fine. Leave it.
Easing the burdens of the common folk is a natural obligation of the nobility. Now hold still and keep quiet for a moment, if you would be so kind.
That's a real pretty way to talk about sitting around in castles doing nothing.
I don't think she likes nobles.
Let me tell you, everyone in my village is so grateful to be taxed up to the eyeballs for the privilege of... Ow!
Oh, it's quite swollen. And you're feverish. Fortunately, I do have an ointment here that should be of use.
What? You just carry that stuff around with you?
Certainly. It won't do to be unprepared if I happen across someone in need.
This is another example of Lorenz actually being like all about caring about others and, well, not caring about others per se, but caring about the greater good, wanting to be helpful and all that kind of stuff, but wording it in a way that still somehow sounds offensive to people because he's all about, it's the noble's plight to do this kind of thing. It's not like he's doing it because he's your friend or something. It's quite funny.
I don't get you, Lorenz.
It seems I've neglected to pack bandages. I'm afraid this handkerchief will have to suffice.
Gross.
What, that fancy thing? Bit of a waste, isn't it? Hey, no thanks. I don't need some noble's pity.
What about the help of a friend?
There we go.
I am as much that as I am a noble, if you recall.
More of your weird logic.
There, that should ease the pain. And since you are recovering, allow me to carry this burden for you as well. There we are. Now, farewell.
I really don't understand that guy.
This is one of my favorite supports so far.
Oh no, I completely forgot to thank him.
This is a great support. It's so simple, but it works so well. Alright, B support, cool. The way that started, it sounded like a C support, but then it went somewhere. It was cool. Okay, let's do a C support first. Ignatz, Marianne. Two most introvert people in my thing.
Is that everything?
Yes, that's the last of them. Thank you, Marianne.
Neither of them started with or sorry, or I'm interrupting.
Just when I thought all the laundry was dry, the wind got stronger, and by the time I realized what was happening, there were clothes dancing across the sky.
That must have been frustrating to watch.
I know, right?
I didn't imagine they would float all the way to the stables.
Oh,
Thanks again for helping me pick them up.
that's gross.
It was no trouble. They landed right at my feet.
That's also gross.
Well, now I can hang it all back up before sunset. Everything should be dry by the day's end. All right, I should get to...
A horse.
Are you alright?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
The hamper's just a little heavier than it looks. Do you think you could give me a hand? Whew, we got here just in time. Thanks for the help hanging everything up.
It was nothing.
Huh. What is it?
I'm sorry. I know I'm not much fun to be around. I'm not very good at small talk either.
Marianne is so much more self-aware than Bernadette. I like it so much better this way.
Oh, no, that's all right. After all, just look over there.
Huh? Oh, the flowers are lovely.
They were mere buds until just the other day. Now look at those gorgeous blooms.
How wonderful.
If we'd been chatting away, we might never have noticed them. Sure, the laundry was an ordeal, but at least there was a silver lining.
Alright, that was not very exciting, but it was alright. Ignatz, Lycidia.
Oh hey, it's you. Going for a walk again today?
No, I'm on cooking duty today, and I have to head into town for some groceries.
All on your own? I'd better go with you. I'd be worried if you went by yourself.
No, please. I can manage on my own.
But won't you have a hard time carrying everything back?
Not at all. I'll be fine. I'm just replacing a few ingredients.
Why is he like so hesitant on getting help in the B support, but much less so in a C support with Marianne?
Also,
Weirdo.
I may not look it, but I'm actually quite strong. I've been exercising every day.
You're right. You don't look it. Your biceps are a fraction of the size of Raphael's.
To be fair, that's a high bar.
If you start fumbling around under the weight of all the groceries, and then you trip and spill everything everywhere, look, I'm just saying that could be your future. It could happen. It doesn't look pretty.
That's what you think of me, huh?
Yep. You're honestly a bit of a mess.
I see. If that's how you feel.
Oh, knock it off with the wounded puppy dog eyes. As though I'm some sort of villain in your story.
I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. I'm just a bit sensitive, that's all. You're talking like you don't respect me.
I see. So now it's my fault?
Calm the fuck down and just offer your help again.
No matter how grown you seem to think you are, there's so much you're incapable of. You can play at being a mature adult, but it only ever complicates things. And that's exactly what makes you look like a child.
Oh, enough already! Would you just leave me alone?
Maybe I went a bit far that time. But he's so stubborn despite his ineptitude. I can't just leave it be. He's so foolish, constantly making a mess of things. Wait, but then...
No matter how much we stretch, some things are always beyond us. I think it's fine to be vulnerable and ask for help sometimes.
Do it.
What he said to me before. To everyone else, do I seem just like Ignatz?
B supports. Alright, that's all for now.
Professor, have you been looking for me again? I am very busy, you know. I must insist that disruptions for light-hearted chats of this kind be kept to a minimum. What did I tell you about falling victim to such salacious and slanderous rumors? As I've told you, there is obviously a conspiracy against me. There is no manner in which I could possibly be considered bothersome. Professor, I assure you, you have been deceived. My adversary has poisoned the hearts of these ladies against me. The plot goes deeper than I thought. But if you truly do insist, please understand, Professor. I am not some scoundrel out for conquest. I am attempting to fulfill my duty as heir of House Gloucester. It is my responsibility to continue our noble line by finding a suitable lady to be my wife. It is a rigorous process. My family has the very highest standards for appearance, grace, temperament, and pedigree. Typically, yes, even if others are sometimes critical of that notion. For the nobility, marriage is not merely a union of individuals, it is also a union of families. It would not benefit House Gloucester to be tied to a family of powerless commoners, would it? To achieve supremacy, it is necessary for my line to be tied to that of an influential family. That is the best path to peace and prosperity for all. So, as you can see, the future of the Alliance rests on my shoulders. It is nothing out of the ordinary. Those of us with noble blood are born to this duty, you know. That being said, to avoid misunderstandings, I shall restrain myself until things calm down. I would rather not cause trouble for you after all.
Oh, it's Raphael. What's he doing at that desk? Hey, are you studying? I thought you'd given up on it. Nice to see your... What the...
Oh, Leone!
What's wrong? Why are you crying?
I just got a thank you letter from my little sister.
Okay, maybe start from the beginning.
My little sister lives with my grandpa now. She's had to deal with so much since I decided not to take over the family business.
You might have to back up a bit more before this starts to make sense to me.
Our parents were merchants, but they died in an accident. We had some money saved at first, but Grandpa isn't healthy enough to work, and I'm not smart enough to work a job that requires much thinking.
That's really tough. Hard to make a fortune with just your strength, I'm sure.
I had to sell all our valuables just to pay my way here so I could become a knight.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
My sister wants the best for me, but she's the smart one in the family. She's the one that should be here. When I ask if she needs anything, she always says she's fine. She doesn't want to ask me for anything, because she knows I'm having such a hard time here.
She sounds like a great kid. So, what did the letter say?
It says she's happy and thankful for all the study materials I sent her.
That's good, right? Wait, where did you find extras?
I couldn't find any, so I just sent her mine. It's like you said, right? It's better to give them to someone who will use them instead of letting them go to waste.
Don't take this the wrong way, but don't you still kind of need those? Well, I guess if it makes her happy, it's worth it. Maybe I can scrounge something up for her too.
What are you writing there, Hilda? Wait, let me guess. You're replying to one of your brother's letters, right?
Of course. It's a pain, but I make sure to always send him a response, otherwise he'll worry. It's much easier than when we lived together. A few letters here and there are a small price to pay for this peaceful, brother-free environment.
Well, that's a fine thing to do regardless of your reasons. As for me, it's been far too long since I've written to my parents.
Oh, I thought your father had died.
Not quite. He's still alive and kicking, as far as I know. The late Duke who died in an accident was my uncle.
I see. I do recall you mentioning that your mother was born into the Regan family. What's your father like, if you don't mind me asking?
He's quite the extravagant character. When I was a kid, he used to tie me to a horse and drag me around.
Excuse me?
In all fairness, I was quite a little brat. The horse thing sounds worse than it is. There's sort of a trick to it.
A trick I hope I never need to learn. Your mother didn't step in and make him stop?
Gods no, she'd just laugh right along with him. If my father is extravagant, my mother's more like a warrior goddess, or maybe a demon queen. This one time, she got into an argument with my combat instructor and wound up in a full-on fist fight with the guy. What's more, she won. My instructor was a mighty warrior, undefeated in 100 battles, but even he was no match for her.
Huh? But your mother is a lady of nobility.
True, but she was the kind of woman to elope with the man she loved and throw it all away. Not your average duchess at all.
Ooh, they eloped! I like that. It's so romantic. Imagine abandoning your family forever to be with the one you love. Not everyone can do that.
It's not a question of can, it's a question of will. Even someone like you who generally despises effort would pull out all the stops for something you really care about. Isn't that right?
Excuse me? I put in plenty of effort.
Hey, that was a compliment. Anyhow, I look forward to the day when something inspires you to try your absolute hardest. It will be something to behold.